One thing game masters and writers have in common is this ineffable urge to create their own imaginary settings.
It's ineffable.
We want to create worlds with semblance of life to them so our players or readers will find the experience more immersive. So in this video, I'm going to help with 50 writing prompts that you can use for fantasy world building. I'm also going to reveal a very fun challenge that we can take together. Ready? Let's go. What's up, Battleflumps? My name is Aviad and I make videos to help game masters create the best experience they can. And today we're doing it with world building prompts. But before we dive into the list, I want to share a special opportunity with you. November is almost here. Well, maybe for some of you in the future it's already passed, but if you're one of my early viewers, it means we have a chance to create something very cool together. This November, I'm going to take the NaWorMo challenge. For those of you who aren't aware, NaWorMo stands for National November Writing Month. Every year in November, thousands of people from all over the world challenge themselves to write a whole flippin' novel with 50,000 words in it, over the span of 30 days. That's no easy feat. But I'm not going to write a novel this November. Instead, I'm going to try writing 50,000 words about my homebrew world. So it's going to be National November Worldbuilding Month. Yeah, NaWorMo. It's a thing now. Anyway, if you want to join me and some other flumps on this challenge, we'll be sitting by the virtual campfire in Beyond the Screen's Discord server. A big part of what makes NaWorMo so much fun is the community activities and meetups it creates. The channel's Discord server is a welcoming place where we can share our progress, ideas, writing prompts to keep us inspired throughout the month, and of course share our immense frustration from taking such a ridiculous challenge to begin with. So if you fancy that quest, you can find the link to our Discord server in the description below. And now, without further ado, let's get some prompts. Describe a cataclysmic event that shook the foundation of your world. Is there a place in your world that is named after someone? How did it get its name? Describe one conflict that is prevalent in your world. What are the opposing factions in this conflict? Have the gods of your world ever fought amongst themselves? Why? Is there a creature in your world that was created artificially? What is it and how was it created? What will most likely destroy your world? Choose a large city in your world. How is their culture different from anywhere else? What currency do people use in your world? Are there any alternatives to coins and gems? Can you think of one historical event that two cultures remember differently? What is the story of each side? If I were to walk into a temple in your world and ask how the world was created, what story would I hear? What is the most advanced piece of magic or technology that exists today? Who invented it? What was the most recent war in your world? What led up to it? How did the power balance shift afterwards? Tell me the story of one of your world's leaders. What are they fighting to change or trying to preserve? Does your world suffer from extreme magical weather? How do people cope with it? Which settlement in your world welcomes adventurers the most? Which one hates them? There's an old, scary story that parents use to keep their children from going out at night. Do you remember it? How many continents are there in your world? Are all of them settled? What do the inhabitants of one continent think of the inhabitants of the other? How did the geographic layout of your world affect where people settled? Are there any iconic land formations? If I were to dive deep into the ocean, will I find any underwater colonies? Mysterious sea creatures, legends of the depths. Does your world have an Underdark? How can it be reached? Which commodities your different societies are known for? Where are the most noteworthy trade routes in your world? How is magic viewed in your world? Is it just science that hasn't been explained yet? A complex independent area of study? Something else? What happens to souls after death? Can people be resurrected? To what cost? How many moons or satellites does your world have? How much is known about space? Are there any other planes of existence? How does one access them? Is the one more accessible than others? How can sickness be treated in different regions of your world? Are clerics and druids sought out for healing mundane injuries like a broken bone or the flu? Do they make profit from healing, or they're more altruistic with the magic? What are some famous landmarks in your world? Are they natural? If not, how did they come to be? What food or beverage is unique to your world? Tell us about the fallen empire in your world. What was it like just before the collapse? Describe a lie the people in your world would happily accept. What truth are they trying to avoid? Describe some of the cults that exist in your world. Whom do they worship? Are humanoids the rulers of your world? Was there a time when they weren't? Tell us about a prophecy in your world. How likely it is to actually come to pass? How common is divine intervention in your world? Are the gods active and omnipresent? Do they personally punish or reward mortals for their deeds, or are they more distant? What are some mysteries that still elude the most astute wizards of your world? Are there any magical substances with unique traits? How common are they? What are they used for? Is there any type of magic that is illegal in some parts of your world? Why? How does magic affect the economy of your world? Are there any jobs that magic replaced entirely? New profession that it created? What means of transportation exists in your world? How common teleportation magic is? How literate are people in your world? Are libraries common? If so, how did they come to be, and where have they sourced their tomes from? How old is your world? Does it date back centuries? Millennia? Longer than anyone knows? Is there evidence of ancient ruins, artifacts, or fossils? How well do the races of your world intermix and interact? Are there any significant legends of cooperation or conflict surrounding the topic? Describe a major celebration in your world. What festivities are held in its honor? When is it held? And what is its origins? Describe something that is taboo in a region of the world. Why did it become so? How would the populace react to observing it? Would the offender be punished? What resource is in short supply and high demand? What lengths will people go in order to obtain it? Where do people go to have a vacation in your world? Can you give me some phrases specific to your world? What are their origins? What resource does your world lack that we take for granted in our world? Are there any games of chance in your world? Will you teach me how to play them? What is the latest fashion in your world? How does high society dress in one of your cities? That's 50. Do you have any other prompts that we can use? I'd love to hear them in the comments below. Again, if you want to join us in this NaWorMo madness, you'll find a Discord link in the description. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more of me on the internet. And finally, remember that you are awesome. Keep being awesome. And I'll see you beyond the screen.